Hey, Amir, what do you want to talk about this week?
Same thing we talk about every week, Eric. Why are we banning and unbanning plastic bags when we should really be thinking about loving our own children more?
Welcome to the living room, and this show's theme is love yourself. Love yourself more, because as Amir just pointed out in the open, we didn't get enough from our parents, did we?
No, that's a great point. I don't think people love themselves enough.
No.
Eric?
Yes. And I saw a guy on Instagram today who was crying, saying, I don't hate myself, but I don't love myself. And it super resonated with me. I was like, bro, I feel the same way because I don't hate myself. I'm a good person. I know that. I'm Eric. He's Amir. And this is the living room. But it just resonated. It's not to the extreme. And I wanted to talk to you to open the show with this really quick. Don't you hate it when you share, it's where we're at in society. But when you share your mental health with someone and they immediately are like, are you okay? Oh, what can we do to help? Yeah. And they're calling your friends like, I saw this post from Eric, is he okay? It's like, first of all, call me. And second of all, it's okay for someone just to share their emotions. It doesn't mean they're in a bad spot. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah, you're not calling out for help or anything.
No.
You're just it's a part of everyone's life, really, in some way.
But I think it's a reflection of society as well right now that people aren't able to, and this isn't an insult, but a lot of people don't have the, I guess, emotional maturity to handle something like that. They immediately go to, something's wrong.
And they don't have the tools either. What I've been learning in therapy is that, a lot of us just don't have the communication tools.
Yeah.
We've never taught them. We've gone through life communicating a certain way. And the concept of loving yourself really resonates with me too.
Does it?
And through the eyes of a relationship, though, I think a lot of us don't love ourselves enough to walk away from a situation that maybe is not the best situation to be in for you.
Dude.
So I'm kind of dealing with something like that.
Are
right
you?
now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I've had a fiance and been in that situation. So I feel you, bro. I'm just gonna grab tea.
And I also have a really tough relationship with generic superhero movies and TV shows.
I don't know why. Can we get into, is it the repetitive nature of it, or you're just never into it? Because I can't tell you how good Loki is, the TV show, the Marvel TV show, Loki. It's everything that Marvel is supposed to be. And I like the Avengers and things like that. It's fun. Ant-Man. Who knew Ant-Man was, this great and fun? Because nobody ever read it before. And that's what drives me nuts too about it too. They'll take these odd characters and bring them in. But that's part of the magic on the same side. So I have this big kind of battle in my head about it. But Loki right now is everything a Marvel show should be. Everything and more.
For me, it's like, so I have nothing against superheroes or superhero franchises. I was huge into the Batman films and still am, like the latest Batman film with Robert Pattinson. I really liked it.
That's a cartoon. That's a comic book, dude.
Right. And I love comic books.
Yeah.
What I don't like is, I think...
Oh, okay. Here we go.
We kind of talked about it in the last show, and it's something to do with the fandom that...
Yeah.
I feel like liking it, even if it is really good. I'm part of this like fandom that I don't like that kind of fandom for anything. Mm-hmm. I will say that I am a fan of a lot of things, but it's kind of like a private fandom. And I'm not saying you're like one of these vocal, Marvel
No, I'm the
fanboys
same
or
way.
anything.
I'm the same way with my fandom as you are.
Yeah, and man, there's just so much, the multiverses and the universes and the multiplexes, and it just, I'm kind of tired of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so were you at one point into it at all?
Yeah, so like before I got overdone, like when the first Iron Man came out, I was a huge Iron Man fan. That was so good.
Okay.
Robert Downey Jr. was great in that, and it just felt fresh. It doesn't feel fresh anymore.
Really? Because those are the most generic ones to me.
The Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm like, if I could get rid of a franchise, I'd be like, you know what? I could do without the Iron Man. And I understand his role in Avengers, so don't at me. But like there's some other characters that, we could have developed a little more.
Yeah.
But no, I want you to try Loki because hot dang, man, the storytelling's just so good. And it's not like crazy battles. the whole time, because a lot of people have a problem with the Marvel universe because of the battles.
Like the fight scenes?
Yeah, the fight scenes, because it's just a big fight scene. But Loki's so much more than that. It's just complex, and it deals with timelines. So, and you like that, what's that Christopher Nolan movie about
Dark
the time?
Knight?
No.
Inception?
Yes. So it's on that level where it's like you're going into different, but with timelines, not into the brain. You know what I mean? So you're on these different stories. Oh, it's so good. Come on,
you
man.
You see my enthusiasm coming through the camera. It's...
And Ahsoka right now, too. If we're going to talk about it, there is no other thing in any universe right now. In Star Wars, there's only Ahsoka to me. And in Marvel, there's only Loki.
So why do you watch these shows? Is it an escape for you?
It helps with my imagination because I like to build my own worlds in my own head and talk to my own people in my own world. So it helps me come with new scenarios for that. Okay. And that's why I like it. And I like the release because everything sucks, man.
Yeah.
And reality sort of scenarios and relationships are all it's just so stressful for me right now. So I can get lost in it, and it helps with my creativity. So that's why.
Yeah, I think for me, I like to watch stuff, and I think this was the case for so wait, let me ask you this first.
Yeah.
Like Loki, is there some sort of message in this show that you're getting from it, maybe about society or about human or people values or anything like that? Or is it just entertainment? Or do you think there is
I feel like there's a deeper underlying there, but I haven't found it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's definitely there's a conversation about humanity and the choices we make and have made, definitely, because, in the scenarios, and it's too soon to do spoilers, I guess, because it's so recent. The last episode came out last week, so I shouldn't spoil it yet. But yeah, there is an overarching thing going on. Okay. I just haven't found it yet. Sometimes it takes me 3 times. Before I find
entire thing?
Before I find the overarching story or the connection or the bigger theme, which I do like finding, but sometimes it's difficult for me.
Yeah. I think I do have...
what if Tom Cruise was in a Marvel movie? Would you like it then?
It's so weird that you mentioned Tom Cruise, because I was going to say I do have a little bit of a guilty pleasure thing that maybe is equivalent to people liking, some Marvel content.
Yes.
And that happens to be
Tommy C.
What
is his sexiness for you? What's the draw for Tommy C?
It's not even his sexiness. I don't actually think this guy's sexy.
He's not sexy
he's really
all.
Short. He's got a lot of work done now. He doesn't look like he's got a work done, but
is fun. No judgment. Get your work done. Get your needles in your face. Go ahead.
Watch the makeup episode.
We do notice, and we're going to comment on it, but it's not a bad thing.
It's honestly,
we're judging in the nicest way.
It's his dedication to his craft.
Okay.
It's his desire and not giving any Fs to get on a bike and soar into a canyon for the sake of a stunt in a movie and do it himself.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. I think in one of his movies, he was climbing outside of the Burj in Dubai, the giant tower with those suction cups.
Yes.
I think he hung onto an airplane once. So he makes entertaining movies, man.
But is he more dedicated to his craft, or do we just notice his dedication more because of the stunts he does? Do you know what I mean? Take Heath Ledger. Well, that's a bad because he was really vocal about his craft too. But we don't see other than the character, because we get so lost in these characters, we don't understand the process, which is an incredible process. I don't care what you think about movies or actors. That is intense what they go through.
Oh, big time.
And so understanding, how that whole thing kind of works. We don't see it though. Teeny's digging a hole right now, for that's what that noise is. We don't see their process or a big crescendo other than the acting. Whereas Tom Cruise, he has the acting and he has this, I stood on the side of a plane where I was strapped in for a stunt, and he did it himself. So I don't know if he's more dedicated, but you do definitely see the results in the box office.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's a good... I even think the Heath Ledger point is valid, because that's a very different kind of dedication, right? Heath Ledger really wanted to, a method actor. Well, right. I don't think you would call Tom Cruise a method actor necessarily.
Well, hold on. I don't know. Let's analyze that for a sec. 'Cause method acting is really, to be able to crawl on the side of a plane, you got to live that. Right?
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
So maybe in a small way, it is a kind of a method act.
Maybe for that role, yeah. Because I mean, he doesn't really do that kind of stuff in the movies that aren't the Mission Impossible movies. Although he did do it in the latest Top Gun movie. And again, you could say maybe that is a form of method acting because he's getting in the fucking cockpit of a jet fighter.
Right. Which is a lot more difficult than I think we understand.
Yeah, I think where my brain went was, is he just doing this for the shock value and then bringing the audience in for that?
Right.
But I don't think he is.
You don't think so, eh? You don't get that vibe? Because he is kind of creepy. He's
a little bit.
You know, the Scientology thing, like I'm even afraid to say that word because they have like algorithms that go and find it because they're very dedicated to their craft. And the whole like, you know, that world. I know he's done thousands of movies and even during COVID, he bragged, I don't know if it's very true and someone in Hollywood can, you know, tell us different. But according to him and what he was saying, and a lot of reports were saying that him funding those movies was keeping Hollywood afloat during COVID, right?
Well, yeah, Top Gun, the latest Top Gun came out at a time where the box office seemed to be literally dying.
Right, there you go.
They released Top Gun, and I think it got over 2 billion worldwide or something, and it's like, you know, top 5 all time.
Because people got to go see that in the theater, and that was enough to push them to go. So, again, his impact is great
for the benefit of all movie makers to some degree.
Yeah,
but actually, at the beginning of the latest Top Gun, I saw it in theaters.
Yep.
There's like a 2-minute intro from Tom Cruise just sitting in a theater saying to people, "Hey, thanks for coming." But honestly, though, it kind of added to the experience. It was like, "Oh my God, we're watching this movie in theaters. Here's everyone's talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Here's Tom Cruise hyping it up before it starts." And then the classic Top Gun music hits, and it's just like.
And for someone of you that hates the whole like showmanship and mainstream, for you to get it, like that must be groovy.
And see, that's the thing with like me talking shit about Marvel and stuff. And I'm there like on the edge of my seat with goosebumps because Tom Cruise is talking about Top Gun. And I don't even like the first Top Gun.
See, that's the one I like. I didn't like the second one more. The first one's way better, but it's more nostalgic. For me, it's just the nostalgia and my abandonment issue. It's amazing how our fathers...
Wow, coming back to dads.
And we're gonna
wait. Is Tom Cruise your dad?
My real last name starts with a C, but it's not Chapman.
Eric.
It's Cruz.
No, okay.
Eric Cruz Chapman Diego.
I think he would have been giving you some cash if Tom Cruise was your dad. He wouldn't have abandoned you completely. We'll
find a way to transition to this into the future, but we'll call it pops culture. As we get into the conversation.
Pops culture.
And that's what we're going to do often because Amir and I have horrible father issues. And I have abandonment issues and it started with my father and my mom, but it's mostly my father. And he loved that movie.
Oh.
Like even I'll tell the story of how I ended up with my estranged father of almost 20 years is dead. He died and I got his dog. And his dog has a name that's related to Top Gun, the first one.
Wait. Is it Maverick?
No,
Goose?
It's like...
Rooster?
It's like something... It's so redneck and horrible. Oh, he was such a loser. It's like Machine Gun shoots more Maverick or Goose or something along the... Like, a name was inserted, and it's like... The last name is like...
So what'd you call the dog?
Charlie. That's what it is! Shoot, his name is Charlie, and the character in the movie is Charlie. It's Charlie, but I keep going to this because it's like really long. It's like shoots more guns on a Saturday. I'm not even joking. It's something weird like that. And it's Charlie, and that's the name of the female lead.
Do you only like the movies that Tom Cruise is in that feature like crazy stunts in action? Because he was in that Kubrick movie, Eyes Wide Shut.
Bro, Far and Away is one of my favorite movies of our time.
That.
It's beautiful. It's him and one of his ex-wife, the redhead.
Nicole Kidman?
I think she's in it.
Mm.
They come from Ireland. They migrate from Ireland, and it's a beautiful love story. And he's just this stubborn Irish dude that you just want to slap around, but you love him at the same time. It's a beautiful movie.
And he's also in Eyes Wide Shut with Nicole Kidman as well.
Right.
Which is, have you seen that?
Bits and pieces, not familiar.
I hear that from everybody.
Really?
But if you want to watch a movie that's going to mess with your mind, you watch Eyes Wide Shut because it's about like secret societies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Stanley Kubrick actually died before the release of the movie. And there was a lot of weird things about that because apparently he's revealing this subsect of society, this like these elites and like their private orgies and stuff like that.
Not private orgy style, but to speak of like the weird marriage stuff back to to Tom Cruise, Katie Holmes. Like, I don't know if you've seen, there's video of like women trying out to be Tom Cruise's wife. And it's a bunch of ladies, and there's another really famous woman that's involved, and the videos were released, and they're basically the scenario, I have to say allegedly, because I can't say for sure, but the story goes that they were coming into this room and maybe told that Tom Cruise was involved or something, and it was like an interview. And then allegedly they reviewed these videos and then picked some to give to Tom, who then picked Katie as his wife and had like there's this whole weird thing.
I do vaguely remember hearing about that. So they were being interviewed to see how good of a fit they would be for Tom.
Yeah, exactly.
When I think about that whole scenario, I think about his iconic appearance on Oprah. Where she's interviewing him about being in love with Katie Holmes, and he like jumps up on the couch and he's like grabbing Oprah's hands and like shaking her and stuff like that. And that ruined his reputation for a good couple of years. And man, who knows what Katie Holmes went through if that's what he was like on Oprah.
Well, see, and that was the heavy Scientology. That was when he was first. He was like Thetan level 1 or something, and there's 12 of them. We can get into it because Scientology is just a weird thing. It's a weird. They have a Sea Org which they run like the Navy. And it's very much regimented, and you have your admiral, your sub-commander, and all the names and all that, and they very much run it like a sweatshop almost, allegedly. These are the stories that you hear, because there's a bunch of ex-members that come out and they say stuff, and it's a whole weird thing.
Would you join
7
Scientology for $1 million?
No, but I would join it to do an undercover investigation on Scientology.
Well, see, now that it's public, that's never going to happen.
No, I know. I'd never get in.
Damn it, Eric.
Oh, as soon as I got that e-meter or whatever, you grab the thing, they do the test.
Oh, the personality test.
I just start laughing. I'd be like, okay, what's my personality, guys? What are you telling me here? I'm sweating a lot, I tell you that.
We actually talked about doing that, but I have a fear that they would check you for recording devices if you went in. Yeah. So.
Oh, they absolutely would. They know who we are already. They know all the local media, and they monitor things like that. Because I've listened to radio shows where the person lives in the location where Scientology sort of began down in Florida. And he would often talk about Scientology, and often he'd have L. Ron Hubbard's grandson on. I can't remember his name. He was in it, and then he escaped, and he's very vocal about it. And he would often have him on. They'd have conversations, and there were times where this host, Bubba the Love Sponge,
I've heard of him,
would get emails of his family at the park from random people while he's talking about Scientology.
Oh my
and it
God.
was like, yeah, these connections are made. It's very dark, and so they're very monitoring because they don't like to be disparaged as well, right? They're looked at as a place of peace amongst themselves and a place of comfort for those who are part of it.
There's a lot of these figures who are in it and around it who...
Will Smith.
I was just thinking about Will Smith who have been in these really weird and strange public incidents. Tom,
am I missing? Am I the crazy one here for saying what I say about that place?
That he makes good movies, I guess.
His movies slap.
But he's kind of a loser.
Kind of a loser. He's an idiot.
But to bring it back to marriage,
Tom Cruise,
not Eric, and Will Smith, kind of too.
Yeah.
Do you? I know you've mentioned earlier on this episode that you had a fiance once. Is that a road that you'd go down again?
No, never.
You would never get married again.
Well, I don't want to say that.
Never say never.
I don't, because the reason I don't care about it just means nothing to me.
Marriage?
Yeah, it means absolutely nothing.
Did it mean something to you when you wanted to before?
No, I lied and said I was okay with it, and it was a horrible situation I shouldn't have been in. Yeah, I wanted to keep her in my life, and marriage was how I did it.
That was you not loving yourself,
Bro,
Eric.
yeah.
You didn't love yourself.
Right? I didn't. I was told by family members that when I broke up with that, and God bless you, I love you to death, but my friends and family told me, she knows I'm speaking to her right now. My friends and family told me that I looked like death. And then we broke up, and my bags under my eyes went away. Like, I was in a horrible, I was stressing to your point, I did not love myself at all. And so I would not count it out because it means so little to me. But if it means so much to her, then I'm like, okay. If you want to.
So you would still kind of do it for somebody else.
I mean, yeah, but.
Hopefully you'd want it more than you did the last time.
Yeah, but I don't, but again, that wouldn't be, maybe I shouldn't, because I'm doing it just because I don't care, and it's just because they wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm going to change that back. I don't think I want to get married.
Okay.
I don't think I would.
Eric's taking a stand.
Yeah, I'm taking a stand. I'm going to stand it now, and no, I don't want to, so don't ask me, Amir.
Don't propose to Eric. I won't. I definitely won't.
Why not? What about you? You getting married?
Well, last week you told me some troubling things. I think that there's that common sort of stat that goes out there that like over 50% of marriages end in divorce.
56, but it's closer to 70%. But if you really break it down, but yeah, it's gross.
So even just with the 56%, I was like, there was a part of me that was like, why even bother when our chances are, in the minority of it succeeding? And then when you told me the 70 thing, I was like, what the hell is the point?
Yeah,
am I going to be part of the 24% or am I going to be part of the 76%?
Well, and how much work is it to be part of the 24%?
And so, like you've mentioned, I already have abandonment issues. Imagine being in a marriage and being abandoned.
No,
that would be imagine your wife giving you divorce papers. I couldn't handle that.
Difficult.
I can't handle.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. There's some joy in it as well because it's finally ending, and I'm sure it has been horrible. But there's also, it sucks. I'm sure it sucks.
Yeah, I always wish my parents would get divorced.
Yeah, I'm glad my parents did get divorced.
They never did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to answer your question, there's a part of me that forever didn't want to get married, and then something happened recently involving relationships and stuff like that. I was like, I can see why. And then
you wouldn't want to get marriages don't work out, you mean?
No, I could see why people would want to, and I could see how that could be a joyous thing. And not for the reasons that people get married, but just for like almost like a celebration of the love, like this bond.
Yeah.
Like a ritual and not the typical, 400 people, so something private with some friends and just like coming around and just telling my friends how much I like this person and why I want to spend the rest of my life with them.
And see, that's why I think I should be open to it for exactly what you're describing. Because I think that's great. That's nice.
Yeah.
But I feel like we just a lot of it is just getting caught up in that and focusing just on that.
And then there's all the legal shit, obviously. Yeah. Like, I don't have anything to sign for or against in a prenup. Well, they would be taking your old couch.
Oh yeah, my old Greenie.
It's not even my couch, and they would be taking it in a divorce. It's my couch, or Eric's couch, technically.
They would want to prenup with me strictly for the reason that I have so much debt, they don't want any of it, and because you split debt, I think too. So
you should get married.
Oh, good idea.
And don't even say anything about your debt.
Pretend
and
I'm
then
super rich.
Get divorced like a month later.
I like that.
And like, sorry, baby, you got to take half this debt.
Check this debt out, yo. So no marriage or marriage? Is that what we're getting at here? You're still on the bubble.
I'm on the fence.
You would.
I'm on the marriage fence.
Marriage bastard.
Damn it. Fucking wives.
See, you don't want to fall into that stereotypical thing where it's like, you come that guy who's like, oh, the wife's the old ball and chains calling. Like, no one wants to be that.
No. And
nobody.
I think another reason why I'm hesitant is because I saw the marriage that I saw growing up, which was the worst marriage of all time. Like I said, I wanted them to get divorced. That's not a great example of marriage. And that was my first example of marriage. Yeah, right. So there's that too. It's just we're all so messed up. There's just a lot. I think what we're doing, thinking about it a lot, is really mature though, because a lot of people do just, society puts these limits on things. Like, you need to be together 3 years. And that was the thing when I got engaged. Like, our engagement lasted 2 to 3 years. And that was like, what are you doing? You got to make it happen. But it's like, well, I work in radio. I'm making like $45,000 a year. I can barely afford to borrow money from my brother to get a ring and then do this proposal thing, which cost me thousands of dollars to fly across the country and surprise her. But yeah. The other thing actually that we again touched on in a previous episode is like the expectation of marriage, I think, for me, in a brown culture and a brown community. Ooh, that probably plays a huge role. And I've always been rebellious. So not getting married is sort of a rebellion. But also, if I did get married, I would not touch any of the brown traditions that my family does. Well, is your family have the tradition of, hey, here's this total stranger over here, you're going to marry her? That does exist in Indian culture to some degree. The arranged marriage stuff still happens. And apparently arranged marriages are actually more successful than love marriages, which is wild. Well, because it's such a again, it just speaks to the whole, like, there's no secret sauce. It's just a random thing. It's the universe. But I also think, I only thought about this right now, that to some degree, because of the expectation, because it was set up by your parents, if you leave this person, they would you would be frowned upon. So maybe that makes you stick together with this person longer. Maybe sometimes in worse situations. Who knows? We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, and I hate to think that, things would happen exactly one way just because this, who says that couldn't happen again in a different scenario. So yeah. So yeah, that exists, but
Yeah.
I was just talking about like the weddings that go over 3 days,
Yes.
with all the traditions
And like
stuff.
14 horses go trailing through, and it's beautiful. It does. Don't get me wrong. It looks awesome, but I can't imagine the stress that surrounds all that.
And the thing I hate most about those weddings is when they do the picture. So you are sitting on stage with your wife, whether it's arranged or love, and then all these people shuffle in behind you wherever you're sitting to get pictures. And half the time you don't even know the people that are behind you, but you're smiling for photos with these random strangers your parents
so
invited.
weird.
You didn't want them to come to your wedding, but your
No.
mom and dad's like, no, they're coming. They're our friends. It'll be disrespectful.
It's literally your mom and dad just like, hey, check this out.
Yeah,
Yo,
like,
it's
look
just
at
a
the
big
show.
It's just check out my dick size,
Yeah.
you know?
Look at my kid. He's so beautiful. He went to school.
He went to school, now he's married, and he's probably going to get divorced very soon.
Sad but true.
Soon. Gosh. Well, what do you want to talk about next week, Amir?
I would love to have a chat about how much I hate consumer holidays and the fact that even after you die, the brain lives on for sometimes days. So technically, we're all zombies.